Hello children, uh, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to do the important questions along with the answers of the lesson Lost Spring written by Anis Jung. This is for class 12th. We are going to deal with the 5 markers and the 1 markers. Most of them are the board paper questions which were asked a few years back. In case you like my channel and you think it's useful to you, please subscribe, and I will be putting out a lot more important questions and other questions which will be useful to you for your exams. In this video, we are going to deal with the 5 mark questions and 1 mark question. For your convenience, I have given you 2 links. The first one is a very quick recap in points of the same lesson, that is the Lost Spring, and the second one is the important questions part 1 which we saw last week. We are starting with the 5 mark questions. Question number 1. How was Mukesh's attitude towards the situation different from Sahib's? Mukesh belonged to a bangle making community in Firozabad, whereas Sahib was a rag picker. Now Mukesh dared to question the system. He decided he would become a motor mechanic, thus insisting he will be his own master. Unlike the other bangle makers, he hasn't lost hope and he tries to break the vicious circle. We have learned that bangle makers did not have much hope because lot of people joined together to keep them down all the time. Sahib was a rag picker who happily went to collect rags every morning with his friends. By taking up a job in the tea stall, he was not his own master any longer. He worked in accordance to his master's wishes and had lost his independence and carefree life. Question number 2. Describe the circumstances that keep the bangle makers of Firozabad in poverty. This question is a very important question. This is the plight of the bangle makers of Firozabad, and it just keeps repeating every 2 or 3 years. So you must know this properly. Circumstances under which the bangle makers work is deplorable. Deplorable means very pitiable. From childhood, they work in dim light, often losing their eyesight. They work from morning to evening but earn very little. The rooms where they work is unbearably hot and ill ventilated. Deprived of their education, they cannot do anything other than making bangles. If they form cooperatives, they are hauled up into jails on false charges. The sahukars, lawyers, policemen, politicians, all of them together oppress these bangle makers so that they are always caught in the vicious circle. Question number 3. How do we know that there is progress in the Hindu priest's family? Now there was a son of a Hindu priest who has actually narrated this story to Anis Jung. Answer. Anis Jung tells us a story told to her by a priest's son who lived in Udupi. As a young boy, he would go to school past an old temple where his father was a priest. He would stop briefly at the temple and pray just for a pair of shoes. 30 years later, he visited his town and the temple, which was now completely desolate. However, in the backyard, there lived a new priest. Now, there were red and white plastic chairs. They also owned a cot. This shows that now the priest and his son had all these. They had chairs also. They had a cot also. The priest's son not only had shoes, he also wore socks. This tells us that the life of the temple priest in Udupi has improved. Question number 4. Anis Jung brings out the condition of poor children in India. They are deprived of education and childhood. Elucidate. Elucidate means you explain that. This is also a very important question. Answer. Anis Jung in the lesson Lost Spring clearly brings out the plight of the poor children in India. Their childhood is stolen away from them and they stop dreaming. There are actually two people who are examples in this, so I am giving you both of them. Sahib, originally from Bangladesh, had never been to school. He is a rag picker and, like other rag pickers, roams around dumps, sieving it and picking what may get him income. From childhood, these children, with their parents, earn for the family and become partners in survival. Mukesh comes from a family of bangle makers in Firozabad. Here, the children are burdened with the bangle making before they can even think. They work from morning to evening in ill ventilated rooms which are as hot as furnaces. The powerful people of the society ensure that the baggage force on them is never put down. What is the baggage? That of bangle making. Now we go on to the one markers. I have told you that the lesson name and the author's name is very important. 1. Name of the lesson, Lost Spring. 2. Name of the author, Anis Jung. 3. Why does Sahib ask the author if her school was ready? The author Anis Jung jokingly told Sahib that when her school is completed, he could study there. He believed what she said and was eagerly waiting for the day he would attend school. She had just said it as a joke, but he took it seriously. Question number 4. What does Sahib's name mean? Answer: Lord of the Universe. Question number 5. How was rag picking looked at by the children and parents? Both saw rag picking differently. For the parents, it was a means of survival. The children, on the other hand, did their work enthusiastically, especially when they found some money. To them, garbage was gold. Question number 6. As Sahib stood outside the tennis ground, why did he seem strange? Sahib had worn bright shoes, which was actually given to him by some rich boy. But he wore it along with discolored shirt and shorts. Thus, it appeared very strange. Question number 7. Describe the area where Mukesh lived. The author and Mukesh walked down stinking lanes choked with garbage, past homes that were hovels with crumbling walls. Hovels means just like holes, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting with one another. Mukesh lived in one of these houses. With that, we come to the end of the video, children. In case you have a doubt, please connect with me.